Hey everybody, Golden Boy here once again. It is now time to get day 2 of our BroadCaster Royale presented by Twitch Prime Grand Finals. All right, everyone, as I mentioned before, day 2 here in Seattle, Washington. We have 20 teams that want to make it to Sunday. 40 teams in total here today. We've determined who the 20 will be from yesterday. We have some big names that will be moving forward into the big money match. But how much money are we going to be competing for here? Well, folks, the good news is $300,000 in prizes. It is going to be unreal. It's going to be awesome. And I know you guys are excited at home and here in Seattle, Washington at the Paramount Theater. So let's send it over to the analyst desk to break it all down.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. Everyone, welcome to BroadCaster Royale, day number 2 of the Grand Finals. We witnessed 40 teams battle it out yesterday, and now it's time for the other half. My name is Tigress, joined by the RG and Sims to kick things off here on day 2. How you doing, fellas?
Going pretty well. You know, I'm very excited for this one. There's a lot of friends of mine that are playing on this one, and also some guys that I've been interviewing, so I have some special insights on some of the less-known players.
I like it.
How about you?
It's yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, we saw some big names yesterday, but there are some even bigger names out in full force today. I mean, obviously going to talk about that a little bit more throughout the show, but there's some really, really solid players, and there's a certain individual with a bit of a target on his back, I want to say.
I wonder who that might be. But only so many of these teams are going to make it over into the final day of the Grand Finals. So taking a look at the format and what we have seen so far, 40 teams did compete yesterday, 20 of which have been guaranteed a spot in day number 3. And now it's time for that other 50% to be determined. And lots was going on as far as switching up strategies from map to map, everybody showing out. And as you just mentioned today, even bigger profile names that we've seen from the broadcaster community, some of which have been called out more than others.
That is correct. And I mean, I've talked to every single one of the teams, and they all said they were going after someone in particular. We're not going to say who, right? Because we don't want to spoil the people. But everyone is going after them, and this is the good thing about this tournament, that everyone knows, and they have this time to do the research, right? So if they really want to know exactly where they're going to drop, what are they going to do, they can do it. Yeah.
And with a $300,000 prize pool, there is a lot to fight for. And when you're placing higher, you of course get a bigger slice of that, with some of that being allocated to other additional winnings that you can get from special situations with kills and stuff. But $55,000 for place number 1, going all the way down to 41 through 80th place, getting $1,000 each. So no matter what, you walk away with some kind of money in your pocket. But when you have this sort of motivation, the LAN environment, we touched on it a bit yesterday, but with a variety in experience from these players, especially today with the broadcasters and then the professional players all in the mix. Sims, what kind of shenanigans do you think we can expect?
I mean, just like yesterday, I think we can expect anything. I probably expect the unexpected is the better way to kind of put this one, to be honest. But when we look at that list, I mean, I want to just use one team in particular as an example. We literally have half of Team Envious here. We have the American snipers themselves, Caden and Venerated. These two guys are potentially 2 of, if not the best players right now in North America. Honestly, I think they're going to put on a show. They have done some disgusting work in the pro scene. But when you're injecting them into an environment like this, again, you've got such a variation of skill. You can walk through a door and somebody could just be sat there with a shotgun to ruin your day, to be honest with you. Anything happens. It's not a pub stomp. That'd be too rough to kind of call it. But it's certainly expect the unexpected.
And then the prizes, the way that they're breaking down with that special occasion for a number of kills and things like that that's present now on your screen. I say, RG, which one would you be gunning for if you were in this competition?
So definitely I will go for Marksman, longest kill, snipe main, so I definitely will go for that one, yes.
What about you, Sims?
Top player of the event, 360 no scope.
I like it. And it seems like some of the players we joke, oh yeah, you can still get money in these other ways, but they're using it as real strategy to get to that final day. Some of them emphasizing that aggression for number of kills, and we saw there's a variation with 22 was the top number of team kills for the team to qualify, with a lot tying with 21 kills after that, but even some with a single kill throughout all 5 games. Do you expect RG to see some of that variation here today as well?
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's the cool thing about the second day, that everyone already has an idea. They've been practicing for a couple of days, because most of these players, I mean, even if they were not going to play on the first day, they were still practicing here. They show up really early. They were trying to get, some time on the computers just to make sure that they actually understand the setup. So, because again, they're not playing like they're usually playing at their home, right? So they have to get used to it, and they have to make sure that, everything works in their favor, that the sound is okay. Heard of some players that are getting, special in-ears so they can actually get even better comms. So the players are really definitely tweaking their setup, as the tournament goes along.
And a lot are already aware of the teams that will be competing today, but 40 teams in total, taking a look at the team names and then obviously the players that are making up those duos. With you got Shroud and Just9n there at the top. Everybody is excited for that. But Sims, is there anyone that we haven't talked about as much throughout the event so far that you are particularly excited for?
Me in particular, I'm going to have to, no favoritism here, but I will have to call out Drassel. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Certainly a big streamer in his own right. He won Gamescom 2017 alongside Ninja and the rest of Luminosity. They came top in the squads. Certainly a dedicated player, dedicated quite a lot of time to PUBG. Really works his backside off, and I know for a fact he's got a lot of drive and wants to do well here. So again, individually, fantastic player, sound individual, could do some damage.
In my case, I'm going to have to go with Holo and Fox. Those are 2 guys that have been practicing a lot. They have a lot of competitive experience, and they're known as the Shroud killers, because when they used to play on Rivals, for instance, they always ended up going against Shroud because they like to fight for the middle of most of the circles. So, I mean, we're definitely going to see a lot of them because they always go to the same spots, and every time they meet each other, they're the Shroud killers. So, that's how they got their name.
That's one way to build a reputation for yourself. And yesterday we got to speak with a lot of the players right at the top of the show, and a combination of memes and dreams and swag for a perfect concoction. And we have more players to meet today. Golden Boy has that for us, so let's kick it.
Now time to introduce your new players that are going to be making the stage here today. So I figured that we started off with a bang. And welcome to the stage, your first team. It's Just9n and Shroud. Woo! All right, so every person I talk to, they just say one thing. I'm like, oh, who's the player you're most excited to go after here at BroadCaster Royale? They all say Shroud. Why is that?
Honestly, I really don't know. But it happens every single event, and I always just say good luck, every time.
What did you do to them?
Stream on Twitch.
So now, Just9n, question for you, my friend. You got to deal with this. You got to deal with the fact that everyone's going to be gunning for you guys. Are you ready? Are you ready for the pressure?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I like it. Well, guys, go ahead and take your seats, and we'll bring out the next team. Appreciate it as well. Guys, give it up one more time for Just9n and Shroud. All right, your next team from Taiwan. It is Zargon and Ku416. Guys, how you doing?
We're fine. Yeah.
So, exciting day. Have you enjoyed Seattle so far?
Yeah, the weather is quite good comparing to Taiwan and Hong Kong.
That's fair. What's your strategy today?
Try to stay alive at the beginning of the game and then take care of the edge of the circle at the end game.
Okay. All right. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck. You all have a good one. Best of luck to you guys once again. All right, guys, give it up one more time for SKR. Then our next team is from South America, most importantly, Brazil. You have Nakale and Pique. Welcome to the stage, guys. Give it up. Give it all the way from Brazil. All the way from Brazil, man. Okay, so we got over here. All right, who's my translator? All right, translate for him. Okay, all right. So, fellas, talk to me about the Brazilian play style. How does it work for you all? Like, what is the approach, I guess? And we'll start with you over here.
Yeah, like during my streams, I just play aggressively, and he just takes care of me with the strategic side of it.
Nice. And overall, though, how have you been enjoying? How's he been enjoying Seattle?
Como tem sido Seattle para você? Tá aproveitando a viagem? Tem curtido a experiência?
Curtindo bastante com os amigos, zoando tudo e concentrado no campeonato que a gente vai meter bala.
Yeah, We are happy, we are having fun with our friends, and we are ready for the tournament. We are shoot everyone.
Okay, all right. Well, guys, go ahead, take your seats. Appreciate it as well, guys. Give it up. Give it up. All right, now, our next squad, two players that I'm actually very familiar with. You have Optic Karma and Yogi from Luminosity. So, Karma, you're a Call of Duty player. What are you doing here?
I'm not really sure, Alex. I don't know how I got here.
And then you have to deal with this guy.
Oh yeah, every day he's the worst.
So, have you guys practiced at all?
Not as much as we should have.
Okay. I'm glad to know that you guys came prepared. But you're a pro Battle Royale player, so you could just carry him, right? I think it'll work out.
I got him. We got this, no problem.
All right, well, guys, go ahead, take your seats, and thank you so much for coming, guys. Give it up for Luminoptic, by the way. That's a good name. All right, then our next team is the Kingsmen, and it is Break and Sacriel. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us here. So, how are you feeling? You feel like you guys are going to be able to take some easy wins today?
I don't know about easy, but I'm hoping there'll be some wins in there.
Okay, I'm trying to big you guys up. You know what I mean? You're just not helping me right now. And what about for you? How has it been? I guess playing with this guy and just trying to create that chemistry and then getting ready for this competition.
We've not played together for about 6 months, so yeah, it's gonna be a little tough.
You hate to see it happen. Haven't played for 6 months together, but yet somehow they got to make it work. All right, well, go ahead. Best of luck to you guys as well. All right, that was the Kingsmen. But now let's welcome to the stage our next team, the Sandhawk Warriors. Okay, all the way from Turkey. So thank you so much for coming and looking forward to seeing you guys play. I understand you have just big fan bases in Turkey. So, anything you want to say to your Turkish fans?
Yeah, I can say.
Of course.
Herkese merhabalar öncelikle. Discover, right? Herkese merhabalar. Bugün turnuvada elimizden geleni yapacağız. Sizleri hayal kırıklığına uğratmamaya çalışacağız. Sevgiler gönderiyorum hepinize.
For you as well?
Destekleriniz için çok teşekkür ederim bize.
All right, so who are you going after today? Who's the person you're looking to take out?
We are just looking for the first spot, not the person.
Oh, you're looking for the win, not the person. I like that. Fist bumps, baby. That's what's up. All right, well, guys, go ahead, take the stage. Give it up one more time for the Sandhawk Warriors, all the way from Turkey. Awesome stuff. All right, and then we got another team from Japan. It is Team Detonator. Ooh, I'm actually looking forward to this one. Some good players on this squad. So we translate it for us over here. Okay, so overall, can you kind of run through the Japanese play style in PUBG and what can we expect here today from Detonator?
日本のプレイスタイルと、デトネーターさんにどういったプレイスタイルで持ってくるか。どういうことですか？くるかとか。
サノックは、あまりアグレッシブじゃないんですけど、他のミラマエランゲルに関しては少しアグレッシブに行こうと思ってます。
So for the Sandhawk map, they're not going to play too aggressive, but for the other maps, they might bring a bit more of an aggressive play style today.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. And is there any player here in BroadCaster Royale that they want to take down?
今日ブロードキャストロイヤルに来ている選手の中で最も倒したい人はどなたですか？
ちょっとこれは2人で話し合ってシュラウドを倒したいなと思います。
They talked it over, the two of them, and the person they want to take down the most is Shroud today.
Poor guy, man. He just can't catch a break. All right, well, give it up for Detonator. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. Poor Shroud. He just, homie can't catch a break, It is what it is. All right, and then our final team. Welcome to the stage, PGDM, all the way from Brazil. We have Sarah Online and The Darkness. So there they come. Look at that, flexing those muscles. Let them know it's really good. I appreciate that. All right. So, we talked earlier to Nakle and PK about the style and what they're going to do. What can we expect from this team here today?
E aí, o que a gente pode esperar de vocês hoje?
Estamos aqui para escaralhar, velho. Se é mortal e você vê um cara dando um double backflip de moto aí, a gente de moto jogando a moto pra cima de todo mundo, atropelando, fazendo bagunça, é isso que a gente quer.
So they are here for the crazy stuff, and you see someone giving a double backflip in a motorbike. That's the guy.
That's the guy. They're going to be doing the double backflips. All right. So, are they here to take the win, or is there a player that they want to go up against and they want to take down?
Vocês vieram aqui para se divertir, mas querem também a vitória. Tem alguém específico que vocês querem matar?
Vai pranchar o Shroud mesmo.
You don't need to know you don't need to know Portuguese to know that.
Yeah, we're gonna get it here, Shroud. Yeah, pretty much.
Poor freaking guy, man. All right, well, guys, thank you so much for coming. Give it up one more time for PGDM. All right. So I see some beautiful faces up there. I want you guys to have a good time today. The good news is, there's going to be some fun. There's going to be some PUBG play. So make some noise if you're having a good time here in Seattle. PAX West, baby. It's going to be awesome. But now let's send it back over to the analyst desk to get us ready for game number 1.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. And you know what I love? That even with all the calling out that's happening, they switched to Shroud's cam, and he's laughing. He's having a good time with it. And that's the way that you need to take it in stride.
Yes, definitely. I mean, Shroud knows what's going to happen. He has the perfect idea, I think, to deal with that as well. He's probably going to try some odd drops, maybe, because he knows that everyone's going to try to gun for him, because that's the best way to get viewers, to get crazy clips, to get that, that special moment, because, the clips are very important over here.
That's true. Don't forget that you can submit clips from these broadcasts to us using #BroadCaster Royale on social media. All of these players are streaming on their channels simultaneously during this broadcast, so multiple perspectives available to you. And we're seeing all these rivalries erupt and everything. Sims, if you had to choose a player to have a rivalry with that you would put a target on their back, who would it be?
Oh, I mean, I can't shoot, to be honest with you, so probably not many. If there was someone else like another caster or something, I'd probably aim for them, to be honest with you. I don't think there's any more playing in here. I don't want to pinpoint anyone, because I'm probably worse than all of them, to be honest.
And they would take up the challenge,
bad,
too, as soon as you say their name.
More than likely.
Be like, I got you. But lots of teams here. And one thing that I want to touch on is the fact that we have these wildcard participants in addition to some that were invited previously, including Shroud and Just9n, but some that barely by the skin of their teeth maybe missed it through the official qualifying process. You have IRL Duo, for instance, Machine Gunner and Terran, who 1 point away during their qualifying segment in NA, but luckily are able to come here and represent. So having that pressure on yourself, knowing that you're kind of the underdog going into it, how do you think that's going to affect their style of play starting off with Sims? Do you think they might be a bit more timid at first, or just go and brawl out?
I think when you speak about individuals, and for instance, you bring up Machine Gunner as one in particular, this guy we're playing at the North American Regional Finals for PGI. He were on the main stage. Definitely, if you ever get a chance to go back and watch the clips from him, like, they're going to the team comms, they're all just singing away, just having a laugh. And that's kind of what he brings to the table. He's a fun player, he enjoys playing, but still, beneath that, there's a damn good player. There's a very, very, who plays at a high level on the scrim servers and stuff like that. So necessarily just because they scraped in, nobody should kind of underestimate that.
Yes.
For sure. What about you?
Well, I feel like that a little bit maybe with Skipinho and Pabe. Like in the case of Pabe, I mean, we all know that Skipinho is probably like the biggest figure. He has, a really big stream. He's known on social media over there in Brazil, and he has the massive following, right? Because Skipinho, I mean, you look at every chat and everyone's just spamming that and Shroud. That's the two things that are happening. But in the case of Pabe, he's a former MIBR player from CS. He used to play like way back in the day, CS. So he's a very accomplished pro, but this is the first time he's competing outside of Brazil. So, he got himself a pro to just accompany, the face, but he's also a pro that doesn't really have a lot of experience, in foreign countries. So I can definitely see that it's going to be something very interesting. I think they're going to play a little bit less aggressive than they're used to. So they're going to play, more conservative in that case in particular.
Well, we hinted at something earlier, and some of the players said it quite explicitly. There's one player in particular that a lot are gunning for. So let's find out who it is.
On stream, we have always one question. Is like, are you better than Shroud?
Yeah. それはスパイギアと話してシュラウドです。
I'm coming for Shroud. All right, I'm coming for you, Mike.
I would love to take out Shroud and J9.
I did watch Shroud when he played CS. The way he aims in any game it annoys me because I don't think I'll ever be as good as what he does. He's insane at every single game he plays.
I've ran into Shroud a few times in pubs and got destroyed by him. I'm gonna say that it was because I didn't have real guns. That's gonna be my excuse. But Shroud's an incredible player. To be able to compete in like the same tournament as him and measure my skills, if we do run into each other, is a great opportunity.
I feel like at this point, it's a snowball effect, right? Some people say, oh, yes, I want to go for Shroud. And then, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. I do as well. And then soon it's just everybody. But all of these players are here for the same reason. They're fighting it out, promoting their streams as well as for this prize pool. And we have the same thing that we saw yesterday. 3 Sandhawk maps. We have Miramar and then Erangel as well. So starting right off the bat, RG, you spoke to a lot of these players this morning. What's the general feel that you're getting from them?
So general feel, people are very comfortable. I mean, everyone yesterday was very concerned about Miramar. They really didn't like it. They know it's a snipers, hard rotations. They always rely a lot on vehicles. But when you're talking about, having 40 other teams, right, it becomes this thing of, I don't really want to go in a vehicle either because there's going to be 40 vehicles going around. So it's going to be a lot more complicated. Here on this day, everyone is really comfortable with Miramar. They're mostly like accomplished oppers, from CS and many other games. So they know the weapons. They're very comfortable in Miramar in particular. And for Sandhawk, we have a mix, right? We have 50% of guys that like to play around the edges, that don't really like to be in the middle. And more of the, competitive, really real pros that are here, they like to play around the middle because they know that, they can get easily third-partied by someone that is on the side. So it becomes this really hard situation where you're trying to prevent a lot of conflicts by staying on the edges. But if you're in the middle, I think you're going to have probably a better chance of, remaining alive until the end of the game.
And interestingly enough, even though this is day 2 for the grand finals, it's day 1 for these players that we're seeing today. So, Sims, do you believe that it's going to mirror day 1 in a lot of ways, then seeing that easing into it?
I think this is a harder lobby, personally, than yesterday. That's no disrespect to anyone in the lobby from yesterday. But just when we can bring up the list, and I'm not going to start flying through it, but there's so many names that I recognize from pro scene, from streaming, from various different regions and stuff like that. Like, there's some really, really big heavy hitters in there. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think in kind of reflect to the maps and such, you've heard the old terminology, this is Battle Royale. It's one of those things, like, regardless whether you like the map or not, it's tough. You've got to play it, you've got to do it. They all play different, but at the end of the day, you play to win. If you want to play passive, fine. Just make sure you don't get dumpstered by the circle when it pushes in. Make sure you've got vehicles, make sure you've got utility. Most importantly, just stay alive. If you're not a strong individual, don't bother taking a fight. Get the gear, play it a little bit more passive, a little bit more conservative. If you want to go for fun, if you've got your stream on, if you're doing well, go for kills, jump in. If you're a good individual player, it's gonna show.
Yeah, you can have fun with it. Little Lexi yesterday with the memes saying you got to meme it out when in doubt, but we have all of these different relationships between the duos as well, and one in particular that we mentioned earlier, they know each other pretty deeply. So the IRL duo, we got to have some words with them, so let's take a listen.
Machine Gunner, Owen.
Taryn.
We met on my stream, actually. She came on my stream and she called me good looking, and obviously I'm a gamer, so she was like the first girl that just ever called me hot. So I was just like, oh my god, I just got called hot by a girl. It was pretty intense. Supposed to show how easy I guess I was, but And then she became a mod, and then my girlfriend.
And then fiance.
And then fiance.
We work well together, play well together, communicate well.
We're just good.
It is good.
Yeah,
it's good.
We're just good. I like to play tactical. I like to really think things out and move around. So
He's the shot caller.
I'm the shot caller.
I wear the pants in the relationship.
Yeah, I just kind of exist. The streamer I admire the most is probably Trick. He's genuinely one of the nicest dudes you could ever meet. He does a ton for charity, and he never asks for recognition of anything. I'd say I definitely admire him as a streamer.
I have a lot of streamers that look up to you, like Shroud and Ninja, and it just keeps me driving at it and going at it.
What annoys me about Godspeed? His beard, because it's just better than mine.
A lot better than yours. It's a very nice beard.
It is a nice beard. The interaction with people draws me into streaming. It's an amazing feeling. It's hard to explain. You could go about your normal day and walk by thousands of people and just have zero interaction with them. Turn your video game on and talk to people from all over and just really get to know them.
It's like a family to me, a second family, my stream.
We really worked our butts off to try and get votes. We have a lot of friends that are streamers that
all helped us.
They all helped us out. It was fantastic.
And we ended up getting 9,600 votes.
I don't know how many votes, but we got a lot. I love you guys. And thank you guys for voting for us and getting us here. And I'll try not to let you down, but no promises.
they are ready to get into it. I've actually known these two for quite a while. They've been competitive and working together in multiple games, and clearly a lot of skill to them as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a perfect relationship, right? Because, I mean, we have a tactical, we have someone that actually, likes to go in, brawl, taking all the action. So it's definitely, it looks like one of those gamer couples, and you know what they say, the couple that games together stays together.
That's what it's all about, right? But whether you're a couple, just with friends and everything, and we've seen some of those dynamic pairings where we were talking about yesterday, an aggressive player with a passive player, having that clash today. With all of the teams here today, Sims, are there any unique strategies that have kind of intrigued you, especially watching some of these teams from PGI and other events?
I think with it being duos and with it being a mixed bag, so to speak, I don't think there's really any strat. It's just take it as you get it, to be honest with you, which is the whole story of BI. If there's an obstacle in front of you, you've got to deal with it. You can't start complaining about hard shifts, about circle swings, about, oh, I don't have this gun, I don't have this armor. It is what it is. You've got to deal with it. And okay, there's some sort of element to bridging the potential RNG of being able to go to these high density areas, but it's high risk, high reward. If you're going to go to a high density area, you're going to have players potentially in there. If you're going to go on the outskirts, you'd run the chances of not having as, many meds or scopes, and you've got to get to the circle. You've just got to pick your poison and run with it. It's one of those things.
Yep, streamers and pro players, newer players and older players. It's a whole mix here. And then not to mention the different regions that are clashing, which doesn't get to happen very often. And we saw, for instance, the single OCE team yesterday represented very well for themselves. And I know, RG, you're very familiar with the Latin American region, some of the ones we don't get to see as often. So what are your impressions on how they have been showing out so far?
So far, I mean, well, it was an amazing performance from Yalala and Papaya yesterday. They actually did a really good, show of skill yesterday. And today we have a team, we have a couple actually that I've been checking out. Well, the Darkness is one over there, Pava Skipinho, that's one that we actually really want to see what happens, because Pava is such an experienced player. He's been around forever, plays CS since like the really old times. So he's a player that definitely can't handle the stress of being, in a LAN. And then we have Cravius and Incubus. They're the only players that actually qualified from Peru. So being Peruvian players, and both of them also are accomplished, CS players as well. And one of them even played APB Reloaded professionally. So we have a lot of guys from Latin America that have a lot of experience. So I definitely see them that, they're going to make some really, really good matches today.
And a lot of these teams got chicken dinners yesterday with their prize. Today, if you get a chicken dinner, you get an actual chicken dinner, which is in a whole fancy box and everything for you. And if you're in the audience, you get to enjoy that as well. I want to find out who's going to get the first one of the day. So casters, bring us into the action.
Thank you so much. I am WTF Moses, joined here by Matrim, and we are ready for game number 1 of day number 2. Matrim, we have an absolutely stacked lobby, and we already have a plane that's in the air, and they are already on the ground from the looks of it. So unless we're looking at a doppelganger game here, no, that's actually right. They are on
straight into it.
They're on the way down, and we are ready for game number 1.
All right, so you can see a couple of people still up in parachutes right now, kind of tagging out, but uh-oh, look at this. We've got Shroud off on the side. We got Justin right next to him, but there is a duo that landed right beside them, so they're going to have to fight for a little bit of control over this area. Popping off in Shroud's stream right now, you can see managed to pick up an AK at this point. They are firmly aware of the fact that they do have a duo next to him, so they have to make sure that they're keeping an eye out, trying to get a little bit more information going back and forth.
So we are going to have to, we're going to restart this lobby. I can see that we only have 71 alive, so we're going to throw it back to the analyst desk, and we're going to get ready for game number 1 here very shortly. All right, well, looks like we're going to let Shroud just continue to loot here for a little while and see if we can find...
It's always
hey,
nice,
look, it's us. It's us now.
We're back. Okay, hey, what's going on, guys? But you can see, like, we still have all of the players back behind us. It just happens sometimes whenever we get set up like this. Everybody gets set up.
Everyone was so excited to go and kill Shroud that some of them just forgot to get to their desks.
I know, that just happens sometimes. You just want to run up there and just got to get the kills on it.
Yeah. All right, so we'll throw it back down to the analyst desk, and we'll see you guys shortly for game number 1.
We juked you.
Yes, it was a good juke.
Yep.
We're the Jukes of Hazard. That's our name, yeah.
Precisely. But need to take another moment, just allow things to get readied up for game number 1. And with the teams that we have involved today, of course, we have to build that tension more and more. But Sandhawk, we got to see a lot of it yesterday. So as far as going into that as game number 1 once more, and we had our expectations of how people would end up playing that map. Sims, do you expect some just similarities in that aspect. It kind of ended up being a bit passive in the first game despite it being an aggressive map.
I mean, it plays slightly different, right? The blue pushes in a lot faster, but also a lot more manageable, so you can kind of outrun it. It's adaptive to how many people are still alive. It changes up. It does adapt to the map, so to speak. Again, it's small enough that when the plane goes over, generally, you don't necessarily need vehicles to go to the circle. There's enough room to traverse across the map and get ahead of the curve. There's increased loot on the map. There's an increase, you get more. That's why when you drop it, it's just littered with ARs and stuff. You're not kind of scavenging around, running with a handgun and just praying no one sees you. I don't want to say messy. It's definitely a control mess, because if you want to go somewhere, again, that you know there's going to be a lot of individual players, you can see scraps in duos. Like when you look at a squads environment, okay, there might be slightly more people, but they're in teams and there's only 16 or 20 of them. When you look towards this, there's 40 individual teams and everyone's just, you're just another target, you're just another obstacle in someone's way. When you got to get to the circle, the only thing you don't want to do is come in late and then you've been punished. You're fighting from the blue. It's so hard to hit people when you're in the blue because you're looking through the, through the circle wall. You're trying to get through. It's just a mixed match when you're looking down the barrel. It can be a real pain.
The player population curve on a map like Sandhawk compared to Miramar is very different, as well as you're traveling through the match. And another difference when you're looking at other events where it's strictly pro players, you can anticipate where some teams are going to drop and where they might try and avoid early on. Here, it's a little bit different and a bit more sporadic. But as far as just generally popular drops within this map, RG, what do you think some of the biggest target areas are going to be?
So everything related to compound, and this is one of the things that I was talking with most of the teams here. It was either guys that like to go on compound, but they like to get out really fast. So it's loot fast and loot only at the beginning of the game, but because afterwards you're just gonna be looting out of guys that you start killing, right? So the rest of the players. So it's you loot in probably for a minute or two, and after that just run, because otherwise it's gonna be full of people. Everyone's just gonna go there and avoid compounds later on in the game because everyone's gonna be camping inside the compound. So it becomes this thing of Sandhawk has a really unique way to play it, and that's what I really like about the map. It's a map that allows you to be a little bit more creative. Because, for instance, there's a lot less utility as well. So players that rely a lot on smokes and stuff like that, they are forced to play in a very different way, as opposed, for instance, Miramar, where smokes are essential and everyone is always using smokes just to move around.
There are some weapons that, generally speaking, are usually considered the strong choices across, but it does differ from map to map as well because of the proximity of buildings and everything. So, Sims, are there any weapons that you tend to see a bit more popularized on Sandhawk compared to others?
Not generally speaking. Overall, you need a long range, you need a close range. Simple as that. Obviously, with the QBZ being Sandhawk only, we see that quite a lot. Same with the QBU, with the sniper out of the DMR, should I say. It's a matter of trying to get a sniper out. You get a Kar98, SLR even, or something like an M24 now that's no longer a crate weapon. Stick that on your back. Happy days, talking long range. And then move to something like an M4, AKM, QBZ, anything like that, up close and personal. SMGs are, viable. Go for a UMP, but again, it's 9mm. You've kind of got to see them before they see you when it comes to 9mm, and you've got to make sure you land every single bullet. Because if they've got an AKM and they turn around, they're just going to slap you. It's as simple as that. 7.62 is just going to batter 9mm all over. So, yeah, close range, long range, make sure you've got one of each. Even yesterday, we saw a few people running around with one gun. It's kind of like, it's not really what we want to see, and you're probably going to die.
Well, bear with us, everybody. We're hoping nobody dies right off the bat. Maybe see some kind of build up in this game, but we'll be building up to that soon enough. But for now, let's send it over to the man with the plan, Golden Boy.
Thank you so much, Tigris. Yes, so do not worry, folks. A little bit of a, tech thing, but it's all good. It's all good. We'll go ahead, we'll square it all away. And then when we come back, we're going to start game number 1 here at the BroadCaster Royale, presented by Twitch Prime. We'll see you on the other side.
much damage off of that, do manage to make it to the rock. So a little bit more cover, but they need to move up about another 10 meters. And that's going to be right where Hades and Bear G Live are at. Nades are starting to come down, but they're rolling far too far down the hillside. So with this Shroud, Just9n lined up right next to each other. Shots are starting to go back and forth. You can see Just9n taking a lot of damage on that push.
So Shroud now low on health. Just9n on the high side flank, looking for a little bit. The 4-time spray comes out. Shroud is down. And now it looks like 2-3-1 also getting involved. The third party from a longer distance coming in from behind.
Oko actually has the advantage of the circle. Wacky's going to use the smoke that's already down to flank on the right-hand side. This is a good move by Wacky Jackie. He's got the angle now. He has the circle, but now it's about that aim. Will he be able to land those shots? Oko spots him across the rock. Wacky Jackie having to react to what he sees. And now here comes some shots. He's inside the smoke, kind of holding the angle. Takes a little bit of circle damage. That might be problematic. Wacky Jackie goes down, and Oko will finish it off. And that was very narrowly a victory for Oko, but Wacky Jackie held it
someone in there. I got to check it out. So there's going to be a lot of really fun situations, and Erangel definitely is the place for that.
And you have to be very dedicated to your style and strategy. And I would say a man that introduces himself fully with the name 69 Horseman 69 when he says it in person, that's what you call dedication with every single letter and number in presence. And then here on Erangel, some of the teams that we have highlighted that are up here on the top of the stage, if you're here watching, we have Sacriel and Break, for instance. And Break did break into the top 10 of players that were surviving. I believe he was about the sixth something around that line.
Yeah.
So when you have these highlighted teams starting off with Matchroom, what did you think of their performance?
Well, I got to give kudos to Break. We saw Sacriel go down very early inside that round. Managed to survive through. He was under fire outside in the blue. Managed to survive through that, and then still managed to sneak his way very carefully into a very late game position. That's a lot of points he managed to salvage for his duo partner. And I gotta say, phenomenal play coming through.
And in the end, when you're in that top 10 and then we went to 7 and there are still 5 teams present, which indicates to us that there are a lot of individuals that are still existing, which led to a pretty chaotic moment in the end with the 1v1.
Yes, the 1v1 was pretty good. I mean, it was one of those moments where, we have the smoke over there just trying to throw him off, maybe create a situation. But at the end, it was just a mechanical thing, I believe that Akko was the least nervous of the two because, we saw a peak where